Ahoy! How are you? Good, I hope. So I thought it was time for another episode of Whimsical Words that I think should be brought back into the dialogue. But before we get to that, there's a couple things that I thought kind of fit into this video. Now for me, this throws me off. You can be underwhelmed, you can be overwhelmed, but you can never just be whelmed. You can be disheveled, but there's no one that can be shoveled. And along the same lines, someone can be ruthless, but no one ever says, hey, that guy Ted, he's full of Ruth. I think that's humorous. So again, before we get to any whimsical words, some words that I think people use a lot, and they're using them incorrectly. First up, peruse. Most people think that peruse is to read quickly or go through the little shop quickly. You would be wrong. Peruse means to read with thoroughness, which would mean you take your time, you read it, you ingest and learn what you're reading. So if you're going through a shop and you're perusing, you're taking your time, you're taking it all in to better understand it. Irony and ironic. I think those two words, or that word irony, is often confused with coincidence, like they're a synonym, which they are not. You know, I'm sorry, Atlantis. Your song isn't ironic. It's more coincidental, or those episodes, quite frankly, they're just sad. They're just a bummer when these things happen. Ironic or irony is actually the opposite of a coincidence. It's got nothing to do with it. No, a good definition, or a couple good definitions of irony, in my opinion, are, isn't it ironic that our pilot is afraid of heights? Or if someone asked me to define ironic, I would say the band Survivor. Look it up. Factoid. A lot of people will say, oh, that's a little factoid, thinking that it's a small fact, something like that. That's wrong. A factoid is a made-up fact. It has no truth at all. It's much like, well, the word itself is the word fact and oid. And oid, think of it like humanoid. Humanoid is human in appearance, but not human, right? The Martian is a humanoid. The alien is a humanoid. It looks similar to a human, but not human. So a factoid is similar, sort of looks or sounds like a fact, but it's not. Just like most of what you read in, online on TikTok and other places. Not always, but sometimes. Bemused. People sometimes replace the word amused with bemused. Amused means you were entertained. Bemused means you're confused. Not the same. Pristine. A lot of folks go, oh, this room is pristine. It's really clean. It's not what pristine means. Pristine means it's unaltered. It's in its original state, in its original packaging, never been touched. I think people use the words fewer, or the word fewer and less, sometimes interchangeably. If a person has 4 pieces of candy and a person has 3 pieces of candy, this person with 3 has fewer than the person with 4, not less. The glass holds less liquid than the bottle, right? Not fewer, less. Candy, 4, 3. fewer, more. Enormity. A lot of people would say that's a large object or situation. The enormity of the situation stressed me out. Enormity means great evil or wickedness, not large. Just like epic. That movie was epic. It was fantastic. Epic just means big. Enormity means evil or wickedness. The enormity of the crime was shocking. That means the crime was evil and wicked, not that it was big. Anyway, all right, enough of that. Words we need to bring back. Abhorrent, and you got to look these up. That's a good word. Tomfoolery, that's a good one. Stop with all this tomfoolery, I've had it. Bodacious. That gal is bodacious. I think I've used this before. Vexed, I think I said that on the last one. Fastidious, that's a good one. Tina sashayed into the room. Lackadaisical, that's another good one. I've been described as cantankerous. That's a good one. Dubious. Here's one of my favorites. Kerfuffle. Look that one up. I'm working that into some dialogue. Jaunt. I went for a jaunt this morning. Behoove. It would behoove you to tread lightly in the pool. Haphazardly. It's another good one. Gregarious. It's a good one. Frivolous. I'm not sure that's so whimsical. I don't know. Fallacious. That's a really good one. Brouhaha. And then finally, I do it all the time, bloviate. These are some words we need to bring back into everyday conversations. Anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks so much for watching. In this world, when you could be anything you want, you be kind, you be humble, you be forgiving. We'll see you next time. And use some of these words.